A wildfire warning, and suddenly Britain is calling 999 about tumble dryers. Bonfires, barbecues, overgrown grass. Fear is spreading faster than the flames. Fire crews are flooded with questions, not emergencies. But with wildfires burning across the country, one question matters. When does caution become panic? A nationwide wildfire warning in the UK was meant to keep communities alert. Instead, it has been keeping emergency call handlers busy with questions that have nothing to do with fire crews racing to a blaze. Lincolnshire Fire and Rescue says it has recorded a sharp spike in non-emergency 999 calls since the government issued its wildfire alert last Friday. Callers have asked whether it is safe to run a garden bonfire, light a barbecue, or even switch on a tumble dryer at home. Area manager David Lynch said the service had also fielded concerns about overgrown vegetation near houses and residents reporting stray cigarette butts spotted outside their homes.
Even things like, are they still able to use devices in their houses, such as tumble dryers?
Lynch said the surge reflects worry rather than danger. Most calls, he explained, were inquiries rather than genuine emergencies.
We've certainly seen a spike in the number of 999 calls we've received, but not necessarily for emergencies. They have been more for inquiries or people concerned about things going on within their community or neighbourhood.
The fire service says it welcomes the government's decision to issue the alert, but admits the warning has left some residents on edge.
There's been some real concern across a plethora of different things that people are worried about.
Officials are now urging people to think before they dial 999. Anyone with a general fire safety query or concerns about fire risk behaviour where there is no immediate danger has been directed instead to fire stoppers, either online or by phone. The wildfire alert itself has already drawn scrutiny elsewhere. The government has defended the warning as entirely appropriate, even as fire crews across the country report gruelling non-stop demand through the summer's heatwaves. Blazes have already forced landowners into disputes over fire risk grassland, and crews were only recently stood down from the scene of a large wildfire in the Cairngorms. For now, Lincolnshire's fire service says its message is a simple one. Report what genuinely worries you, but choose the right number to do it. Tumble dryers, it seems, can wait. A series of fast-moving wildfires fueled by record-breaking heat has torn through parts of the United Kingdom, destroying homes, forcing evacuations, and overwhelming emergency services as temperatures climb to 38.1 degrees Celsius, the hottest day of the year. The worst destruction was reported in Stourbridge, in England's West Midlands, where a grass fire that began near a golf course rapidly spread into residential streets. At least 6 homes were destroyed, while a child and 3 firefighters were taken to hospital. Authorities say the injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. Around 100 firefighters battled the blaze, which scorched approximately 40 acres of land and prompted a major incident declaration. Residents described scenes of panic as flames leapt from gardens to rooftops, while thick black smoke blanketed neighbourhoods and ash rained across surrounding communities.
We could see the flames above the rooftops of the houses. That was how high the flames were. We just watched them getting closer and closer.
Fire crews say the blaze remains under control, but residents have been warned not to return to affected areas as hotspots continue to burn. The Stourbridge wildfire was only one of several major fires reported across Britain. Emergency services also responded to large blazes in Stratford-upon-Avon, Sandyford in Stoke-on-Trent, Castlevale in Birmingham, Pershore in Worcestershire, and Mousehold Heath in Norfolk. In Worcestershire, around 30 properties were evacuated after several homes were damaged, and roughly 200 households lost electricity. Smoke from one wildfire became so dense that part of the M6 motorway near Birmingham had to be temporarily closed. Fire authorities say they faced thousands of emergency calls as multiple incidents unfolded simultaneously across England. The fires come during Britain's fifth heatwave of the year, with prolonged drought and exceptionally dry vegetation, creating ideal conditions for rapidly spreading wildfires. Meteorologists say temperatures reached 38.1 degrees Celsius at Kew Gardens in London, making it the fifth hottest day ever recorded in the United Kingdom.
These have been some of the most challenging conditions ever seen in my 28 years of service. The devastation is extensive.
Witnesses described flames racing through hedgerows, fences and rooftops within minutes as powerful winds accelerated the spread of the fire. One resident said ash had been falling from the sky for hours, while another compared the inferno to something from a horror movie. Officials say emergency crews are continuing to monitor hotspots as investigations begin into how several of the fires started. The extreme conditions also disrupted transport across the country, with heat believed to have contributed to infrastructure failures, including the derailment of a Southern Railway passenger train near Lewes that left 20 people in hospital. The Fire Brigades Union has warned that Britain now faces an increasing wildfire threat, saying thousands more firefighters are needed as climate-driven heat waves become more frequent. With exceptionally high temperatures expected to persist and vegetation remaining tinder dry, authorities are urging the public to avoid open flames, follow fire safety advice, and remain alert as emergency services continue battling fires across the country.
I was actually playing golf here on the golf course at around about 1:30, and the group I was playing with and myself spotted the fire starting in the farmer's field to the left of the course, adjacent to the course. And I called through to the office to get the emergency services out, who were brilliant, and they tended the fire, but the fire spread so quickly across through the hedgerows onto the golf course itself, really fueled by the wind. It was very windy yesterday, and it pushed the fire across the golf course really quickly and set fire to some woodland. The fire then changed direction, and it blew the fire up into the housing area at Outage on Lane and Quarry Park Road. And as we know, it's destroyed a lot of housing over there.
We thought we were okay, and my daughter she came over to visit us upstairs. I heard a scream, and all the trees along the railway track were exploding. They weren't just setting fire, they were exploding. So we just grabbed everything and left. And our house is still standing, but all the garden, all the wall garden, everything's gone. And unfortunately, our neighbour, who has just spent a fortune renewing his house, that's gone. Yeah, and we've been very, very lucky. At the moment, the house is still standing, and it's just superficial, well, garden, trees and things that can be replaced. Yeah, a lot of houses at the back of us, they've gone. It was really, really scary. It was the speed in which the fire spread, which was the most scary part about it. But when we got off the course and back up to the golf club itself,
A lot of people had been evacuated from homes, and many of them came to seek refuge at the golf club itself, until of course that was closed and evacuated. And then the whole of yesterday was really all about the fire services and the emergency services trying to save property. Thankfully, I believe nobody's been seriously hurt, which is amazing considering the scale of the issue.